Welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. Now we're starting this morning with something really interesting. We have loads of music and entertaining stuff coming your way soon, but this topic really sparked our interest. As much as marriage happens to be a union, it's necessary for individuals to continue developing themselves and, of course, nurturing growth in different areas of their lives. Joining me to talk about marriage is this amazing counselor, Priscilla Benjamin Olaoye. Now, she's she's really interesting lady. She's versed in mental health issues, and she has been talking about this for years. We've been discussing her talking about this on the show for a long time. It's really interesting that you could make it this morning.
I'm so excited being here, Titi. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay, so now growth, personal growth in relationships. I've always been of the opinion that once you're married, once you have a spouse, that growth should be a partnership. It should be teamwork. And when you discuss it in this particular direction, it makes it feel like, okay, maybe I had the wrong idea. Right. Was that wrong? Please tell me if I was wrong.
Okay, so for starters, no, you are not wrong. Okay. We say that marriage is the fusion of two individuals. Okay. But you see, what we've discovered is many people, when they get married, they lose their individuality. Okay. There is a place of individuality and there is a place of togetherness. When you lose your very essence, what makes you tick, there is the possibility that you will ruin the gift of marriage that you have. Okay. So we expect our partners to hold us by the hand and lead us or carry us along when they're going. But you want to also look at the place of mental compatibility, you know, in that relationship. Who you were 10 years ago is not the same person you are. And it's very important that as an individual in a relationship, you are in tune with your status, your mental status per time. So your partner would only push as hard as he or she knows. Okay. You see yourself evolving. You observe that your interests are beginning to change. You're observing that the things that would push you and motivate you some years into marriage is not the same as what motivated you, you know, before you got married.
Okay, I'm thinking about those couples who started out in a particular way. Right. And as you said, who you were 10 years ago isn't who you are today. Right. Now your mindset has changed about so many things. Right. Meaning that it is actually possible that the way you love your partner could actually change. Affection. Oh, right. The way you show affection, the way you relate, the way you talk, the way you interact can change. This, for some, might seem like a deterioration in the relationship.
Yes.
But can it also be termed as growth, personal growth, for one or two of the individuals?
So we say basically what growth is, and growth is the ability of an individual to go from a certain physical status or mental status or social status, whatever the parameters are, to a different level, right? Growth is relative to who is looking at it or who is assessing it. Growth, to me, might be deterioration to someone else. Okay. For example, someone who married a timid person, eventually that person chooses to go on some personal journey and becomes more assertive. To a domineering partner, that will not be growth because the person became more assertive. That's the person becoming less submissive or, you know, growing wings, as some would say it. True. But for me, when we talk about personal growth, is you being true to self. Is you being true to what you think it is. What I feel is the gap here is communication. Communicating where you are, communicating your new feelings, your new desires, and your plan, talking about how you want to go about it. The mistake also is that many people want to push their spouses to go in the new direction that they want to go. We don't leave that other person to go at their own pace. You know, you just want to push them, and then we get into a lot of arguments, we get into a lot of fights, and then you hear things like, you've changed.
Yeah, true. True. But then again, you know, to someone who has become more assertive, maybe gone to school, earned a few more degrees, started earning more money, exposed to different intellectual individuals in meetings, at the office, at work. Now that person is growing at one point or another.
Right.
In essence, pulling that partner along might be tasking, because for a more assertive person, that person is now considered maybe slower, doesn't have that much direction. So what exactly can we do?
Or laid back.
Exactly. What exactly can you do as someone who has started achieving some personal growth to make sure that our partners are carried along and not, in essence, dragged along?
Right.
What can we do?
So that you don't even wear out. Yeah. So basically, I would encourage that there is what life teaches us at different times. At the time of your growth, that's the time for you to remember that humility is key at this time. You have to know that your partner sees you through certain eyes. And you also must recognize that at the time you began this journey, your partner probably was not ready at the time you started. So you must come to a place of self-awareness and being aware of your partner, recognizing where they are and being empathetic to the fact that what you were exposed to at the time you began your growth, your partner was not exposed to it. But if you have been communicating your everyday experience, there is a possibility that your partner begins to see the trend. Because not so many people are able to, future pace, to see that with the rate this person is going, this is what might happen. And because we're not able to foresee that, we're not able to look at it in line with our family vision. So is it in line with our family vision? If our family vision is saying that we have to grow together, then I know the onus lies on me to continually remind my partner of our plan, that we said we were going to grow together. But, for example, using myself as an example, when I began certain programs and all of that, my husband was not, he wasn't totally accepting of, that new path, because he met me a different person. But what changed? What changed was the fact that he began to observe my intrinsic motivation and how I would light up, when you were talking so for you who is growing, you must be empathetic to where your partner is. And for your partner, the person should allow you blossom if that person truly loves you.
I love the way you just ended that. If that person truly loves you, he or she will let you blossom. And with that, we have to wrap up this particular segment. Thank you so much for coming to the studio.
It's my pleasure.
We have to have one or two more conversations, Priscilla.
Right.
Okay.